One thing that has been baffling, if not all, then is the majority of international talented people who are living in Finland is the fact that the media in Finland would announce to the public that there is a shortage of talented people. Well, there are different, of course, fields and different needs depending on the field. But generally, they would announce there's a shortage of talented people in Finland. And at the very same time, almost 95% of talented people who are already living in Finland find it nearly impossible to get in the job industry. So this has been very confusing for many people. And this is the reason actually I bring forward this discussion today, because I believe for some of the things like this one, it would be very, very difficult to find answers if we do not engage in a conversation. Because as for now, what I believe is that everybody is feeling it inwardly. Nobody wants to talk to the other people in the public. We discussed it only in the closed rooms. Everybody's complaining in his own way with his own solutions. Everybody on either side. So the question here is it true that someone would announce the shortage of talents and someone on the other side would reject other talents? Yes, it is true. It is true because now I live in Finland and I have seen myself that there is a lot of talented people already living in Finland. They struggle to find jobs in Finland. And of course, some of the people that would say language is the problem. And I would say it's true. Language is one of the biggest factors. But I've come to realize that it's more than that. It's more than just the language. Because I've had some friends who are also foreign, but they would speak so much good Finnish language. And still, it has taken them years to find employment. And some of them, I still know them up to this day. They are doing the jobs that anybody else would do. Work, food delivery, with their high skill in the Finnish language. Now, it's not that I'm saying that Finnish language does not matter. It matters a lot. Because when you're in Finland, most of the people who would receive your service speak Finnish language. So it is true, it matters, but it's more than just the language. So maybe the question would be, if it's more than just the language, why would it be so difficult for international talents to get into the job industry in Finland, despite Finland announcing the shortage of talents in Finland? Why would it be so hard? I think the answer to this question is both psychological and philosophical. So you cannot just get a simple answer. If you would ask somebody for a simple answer, they would simply tell you you are not getting into the job industry because you don't speak the Finnish language fluency. That's what they will tell you. But I would say no, that's not the whole answer. There are other factors behind that, and that's why I said it's both philosophical and psychological. Why do I say that? If you have already encountered this example of number 9, like if you are fitting in the pieces of the puzzle in the whole piece, and you're holding number 9, the different persons sitting on either sides of number 9 would see different numbers. One would see number 6, someone else would see it number 9. So they will have different interpretations basing on different perspectives. Though that's still the same piece and it goes into the same hole and it can still fit regardless of the perspective. But the interpretation is what will allow somebody to put that piece of the puzzle into its place. So if the perception is that this place is for number 6, but this is number 9. The one who is responsible for putting that piece together, they would say, no, we cannot put this because it is not going to fit. But if the perspective of the person who is responsible to fit this piece of the puzzle interprets this as number 6 into the whole number 6, then he will definitely decide to put it together. Otherwise, he will not decide, because that would be crazy. Why would you put number 9 into number 6 position? Why would you do that? That would be crazy. And that is what I think is happening in the job industry in Finland. Why do I think so? Because naturally, anybody who is an expert or a talent is supposed to be the helper of the society or the community. You are not supposed to be the one to be helped. So what I see in our situation is that most of talented people, including myself, we have come to Finland and then position ourselves in place where we should be helped by Finland to prosper or to excel. And if you are going to be helped, that means you are going to be forced to share the resources that were meant for some people in need. I don't know if you get my point. If you are to be helped, definitely you're going to have to share the resources of the helper. And that's the situation. So we have come to the position where we need to be helped. We need to be employed. And to be employed, you got to be paid the salary. The salary, that means that is a resource. And that's why now it becomes very difficult. And one of the difficult topics, I've seen an article which says now Mr. Orpo has decided even to cut the funding from vocational colleges or something like that. They had cut about, I don't know, was it 10,000 or 100,000 euros, something like that. And now they have even cut more, I think more 20,000 euros out of this vocational in order to minimize the spending on developing the talent of people who have not gone through the university. Of course, many people are complaining, are condemning this thing. But again, we are going back through the same thing. So Mr. Orpo, being responsible for the government, is responsible for making sure the resources are directed to where they are needed the most. So as international people, we are also fighting for these resources. Now somebody has come who is very strict and now tends to take away the resources and direct them where he thinks matters the most. Now, is he doing the right thing? Now, I don't know. I cannot tell. But the other perspective is that if we, the international talented people in Finland, could come and be in the position of helping the society, helping the community without forcing ourselves to share the resources, I believe language will never matter. I believe even the psychology will never matter, because now we don't have to fight for resources in order to excel. Now the question comes, how can we put ourselves in the position of helpers rather than the one who need the help? It is very difficult indeed, because in order to start giving services, you need capital, you need equipment, you need an office. And to get all of these things, you need some money, you need some salary from somewhere. So it's definitely going to be very difficult to start off. And if it's going to be difficult to start, then you have to get a job. So that's alternative number 1. And of course, I support it. Keep on looking for the job, keep on sending applications. But alternative number 2, which is what now I would recommend that the international talented people in Finland, we should start to take an eye into it, is why don't we come together and start to think of ways we can use our own resources in order to execute some of the tasks that will help us to make one step higher or one step forward. I can give an example. Myself, I've been in need of executing sometimes, for example, recording the podcast, digital marketing services and stuff like that. But one big problem that I encountered is that I have been alone most of the time. So some of the other times where I would need somebody to hold a camera and I would go to set the light, I would be alone. So at the end of the day, I would say, no, I cannot do this because I needed two people and I'm just alone. So this is not doable. And I would cancel the project. And that has been the situation for many people. Many people have a lot of talent. They are public speakers. They are maybe journalists. Some are models, but they needed somebody to be with the camera on the other side to take a picture of her in the modeling environment, something like that. But there is nobody on the other side of the fence. And so my point is that if I am a photographer, which is what I am, of course, if I am a photographer and you are the model, why don't we come together and say, hey, you are the photographer, I am the model. Of course, as a photographer, you don't have an equipment, but I have an iPhone. This is an iPhone. I'm not a photographer, but I have an iPhone and I would like to be a model. Why don't you take this phone and take me a picture and you get time to edit this picture, and at the end of the day, we have some pictures we can display to the market or to the audience. Why don't we do that? And this is the way in which we would reduce the need of the resources from outside, from the employment or from the government as the grant. Because now you would have the human resource, which is the people who would be there to support you, and you would have the equipment, which other people have. Nowadays, we're in the time where the mobile phone is good enough to record a podcast. A mobile phone is good enough to take pictures, modeling pictures, which you can even sell maybe to some people. Maybe not in this website which buy the photographs. Of course, it matters on the size of the picture. But you can take pictures good enough to sell to a particular shop for marketing purposes. So that's the thing which I have suggested, and not only suggested, I've even gone further to initiate the community by creating a Facebook group which I have named International Talents in Kuopio. Which means once we have started to gather together, of course, for now this group is only in Facebook, but later on, depending on the need, maybe we can have another group on the LinkedIn page. So in this manner, that means when we are starting to meet and show each other the talents that each one of us is having, that means we can find an easier way to cooperate and to get that startup, because always starting is hard because you don't have the resources, but we can use each other. Yeah, but rather than that, some people have already surrendered. They have really extremely great talents, but they have surrendered now to the system. They have surrendered to the no employment situation, and they've ended up doing the jobs which, not that they are valueless job. There is no such thing as a job which has no value. Even the one who cleans the toilet, that is one important job. Because if you don't do well your job, somebody might get really, really sick. So you can see yourself, if you're cleaning the toilet, you can see yourself as somebody who controls the health. You are the health expert on another field. Like, you are not the medical specialist, you're not the doctor, but you maintain and control the health of people through your cleaning. So there is no such thing as an important job, but you can get into the job which you had not invested yourself into. You are getting into the job only as the survival mechanism, which is not good. It's a wastage of time and resources. You have spent a lot of time reading or studying about something, and at the end of the day, you only do something because it's the only thing that you can do at that time, which is not very true that that's the only thing you can do, but that's the only thing which you think you can do. There are other alternatives. So if you are listening to this video and you would love to connect to other talented people who are living in Kuopio, particularly for you, if you are living in Kuopio, I know many people can see this video from all other parts of the world. If you also love to join, I will not restrict you. I will not keep you out. You can just join, but I'm gonna be very strict because I'm the administrator of this group. And I would like that group to be all about connection, talents, connection. And there is no human without a talent in this world. Everybody has been blessed with a particular talent, but there are people who are good at ignoring their own talents and thinking something else could be more important, and they would rather now go and try to adapt. So in short, that was my message. And I think if we would start to do something like this, you first use the resources that are available within us, it would be easier to be accepted in the Finnish environment first, because you have already demonstrated your talent. It's very hard to trust somebody who just say, hey, I'm a mathematician, without having an article which demonstrates your ability. It's very difficult. But if we start to meet and associate with associate with ourselves and getting started to initiate some projects, it will be easier for outsiders to say, hey, this guy is really talented because we have seen his work. Let's give him some more work. Because once again, now taking back to where I began my conversation, it is true. I've already worked in some of the offices here in Finland, some of the university. Of course, I've worked at the university, two universities, University of Western Finland and also Aalto University. And also I've been hired by companies, I think maybe 2 companies, and few, of course, I went just for an interview. So I realized it is very true. There is a scarcity of talented people, huge scarcity, which means this is a huge opportunity for us. But we have to show that we are here to deliver the service, not to seek help. Not to seek to be helped. We are here to deliver the service, and to do that, we have to show, we have to demonstrate that we have the ability to deliver something that we claim we have, or something that we claim we are. If you are in Kuopio, let's get connected. Let's get connected. So I will put the link of the WhatsApp group. Sorry, not WhatsApp group. I will put the link of the Facebook group that I've created, the international talents in Kuopio. Please, let's join up. Even if you are students, I know for students in Finland, we have this talent hub. Of course, talent hub is only restricted to the universities. So once you're out of the university, you're out of the network. You're out of the network, and we do not yet have any connection which connects us together as talents after we have graduated from the universities. Let's get connected now and see how much far we can go together. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye-bye.